Recording is started. Third pin is the output pin. Fourth is the reset pin, and it is connected to VCC because whenever the reset pin is zero, the whole circuit will restart. Like it will start from zero again. So to avoid that, we will be connecting it to VCC, that is high input, and we fifth is a control. Sixth is a threshold. This is the sixth pin, and seventh is a discharge pin. This is the discharge pin, and eighth is a VCC pin, which is given to the power supply. So VCC pin to the VCC pin, we can provide a voltage of 4.5 volt to 15 volt. Highest will be the 15 volt. How the output of this stable multivibrator looks is it will be varying continuously. Like once it will be high, once it will be low. So continuously it will be high, low, high, low. So this is why it is called as astable. It won't be stable. Like it won't be at high every time. It won't be at a lower point. So it will be varying continuously. So the application of this stable multivibrator is relaxation oscillator. And this is the block diagram. Um, whatever IC you have seen, inside that IC, what are the functional blocks are there, that is shown here. Why this timer circuit is called 555 means you can find there are three resistors here, RRR. Generally they are of 5 kilo ohms, hence the timer circuit is called 555 timer. Actually, these first one is a voltage divider block where you can see the resistors are connected and they are connected to VCC pin. And the second block is a comparator where two comparators are used. And thirdly, we have a flip-flop block. And fourth is the discharge. And fifth is the output. So in case of comparator, there are two ideal op amps. So you guys may knowing that ideal op amps won't consume any current. Hence, the current flowing through these like these ideal op amps are zero. Hence, all the current will flow through these three resistors. So it is called as a voltage divider circuit. And if you see how the voltage is at this point, we consider a pen. At this point, the voltage will be 1 by third of the VCC because formula of the voltage divider is at this point. Let us consider as a point. VA is um, whatever resistor is there here, that resistor into the input voltage, that is VCC, and divided by whole resistor, that is R plus the series connection of these two resistors, that is 3R. Hence RR get cancelled here and the voltage at this node is 1 by third of the VCC. And at this point, the voltage is 2 into R into VCC divided by 3R. Hence it is a 2 by third of the VCC. So when the threshold voltage, we have mainly three voltages here: threshold, trigger, and this control. According to the values of these three voltages, the output of your 555 timer changes. If the threshold voltage is greater than 2 by third of the VCC, the output of your comparator will be high. And if the uh, trigger has lower input than 1 by third of the VCC, then the output of this comparator will be high. So according to outputs of the comparator, this flip-flop work. This is the RS flip-flop. You guys remember what are the flip-flops? Hello?
Yeah, we remember.
Okay. So this is the RS flip-flop. Let us see how this truth table of RS flip-flop looks. It has mainly two inputs, S and R. When both the inputs are 0, 0, and output, whatever may be the output, like 0 and 1, previous output, same will be the output at the present state. And if the input to the S is 0 and our input to the R is 1, whatever may be your previous inputs, the output will be 0. Whatever your S is there, that will be your output. And if your input to the S is 1 and input to the R is 0, whatever may be your previous states, the output will be 1. Like it is high input because S is higher. And if both are 1, it will be in an undefined state. It is shown as X. So mainly we will be considering these two cases. So when both the circuits are at high, the flip-flops will not work. And if in case of threshold voltage is high and greater than this two-third of VCC, it will be 1. And if we consider that trigger is more than 1 by third of VCC, it will be 0. And so your output will be 0 because your S is 0, hence our output will also be 0. And your output will be connected to discharge pin where the NPN transistor is connected. It just acts as a switch here. So this is the block diagram. So according to the output 1001, the output will go like high and low. This is the working principle. Hi Pranali, is your first class?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So we have covered all the basics of PCB designing introduction. So just you go through the video. Sir will be sharing the link of that video. So today we are going to design a 555 timer circuit. So I will be highlighting some of the important points. Okay, let us start. This was all about the basics of 555 timer. Let us start for designing. Have you guys downloaded the EasyIdeal tool? Guys, have you downloaded?
Yes, yes.
Okay. So firstly, we will start with this 555 timer. Just go to the project and choose a title name. Yes, 555 timer. Don't leave any spaces. Spaces are not allowed. Okay, this is the schematic window. So let us start to design the IC. If you want, you can get from a global library. Before that, selecting from that library, we will just learn how to design the 555 timer IC. Again, go to new. For that, select this symbol. Firstly, we will design a symbol of the 555 timer IC. As you have seen that it has 8 pins. It has 8 pins. For better design, let us go to okay. According to this IC, we will be designing it. So if you want to know more about this IC, you can refer any data sheets of this IC. They are available online. So our IC is in rectangular form. So we will select a rectangular here. Okay. Hi, Snehal. Hello.
Hello, ma'am.
Yes, Snehal.
Hello. Hello.
Hello, you are audible. What was the issue?
Not able to join.
Yeah. It may be the network issue, let it be. So
Yeah, maybe.
is it your first
And my
class?
one of my friend is also not able to see.
Okay.
Sorry.
I was asking, is it your first class?
Hello.
Yeah, Snehal, you are audible. Am I audible to you?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. But your friend is not there in WhatsApp group, right?
She is Pranali Patil.
She has already joined.
But she is not able to see.
Okay, she has joined. So yours also, this is the first class, right?
Yes.
Okay. So we are starting with the 555 timer circuit design. So previously we have conducted one class. So you can go through the recorded session. You will be clear with the basics. So let us start with the 555 timer IC design. As I was telling that
Ma'am,
the
can you please give us review that what happened?
give me a minute. I will just open that. So this is the introduction to PCB designing course. So this was the first time the scientist Paul Esler who discovered the PCB when he was working on his radio systems in 1936. So the definition of PCB designing the best way to materialize and manufacture a circuit. Like when you are having a circuit design in your hand, you want to convert it to into reality. So for that we will use this PCB designing. You can see here there are many components attached and connected. So this is the pen and paper circuit. So this is the PCB designing. Converting the process of converting the pen and paper process into this PCB is nothing but a PCB designing. So firstly, we will have many steps there, like designing the schematic and converting that schematic into layout. After that, we have fabrication and all processes. And this is the DIY PCB. This is nothing but do-it-yourself PCB. Firstly, if you want to do your PCBs by your own, you can buy this bare PCBs and you can draw the circuits on it, and there will be PCB etching, drilling and soldering components. These are the steps there. And there is one more term called PCBA. After placing all the components on the PCB, the term is called PCBA, that is printed circuit board assembly. So you will be placing the components according to their footprint matching. This is called PCBA. And I have mentioned some of the types of boards. Firstly, there is a breadboard, which you may have used in your colleges. So it basically works like all the horizontal points are at different voltage levels. I mean, it will be at different voltage, and all the vertical points will be having same voltage. So you can connect components by jumper wires here. But what happens is the jumper wires may get loose and all. So the breadboard may work sometimes, but it is not efficient way to connect the components on the breadboard. The wires may lose, and there will happen some loose connections and all. So we don't go through this breadboard. It is just used for prototyping and all, not for the final results. And we have general purpose board where the board will be, it will be having a copper layer on it, and there will be many holes. So through that holes you can place the components and you can connect the components by soldering them. This is also a good way, but not that efficient as that the printed circuit boards, because you need to solder it by your hands. So you may wrong somewhere. So the efficiency will be less here. But in case of printed circuit boards, you will be only designing the circuits, and the soldering and fabrication process is done by the industries. There will be many PCB industries. So if you send a Gerber file of your PCB, they will manufacture a PCB for you. So the efficiency of that circuit will be high in case of printed circuit board. Hence, it is called a best way to materialize and manufacture the circuits. And I have mentioned types of PCBs. Like firstly, we have a single-sided PCB, and secondly, double-sided. Third is a multi-layer PCB. In case of a single-sided PCB, it is also called as single-layer PCB. It will be having a substrate. Substrate is common in all cases, like in case of single, double, and multi-layer, substrate is common. On that substrate, we will be having a copper layer, like single layer of copper will be there above the substrate. Hence, it is called a single layer PCB. On that copper layer, we will be having solder mask and silk screen. So we will learn what is solder mask and silk screen in the next slides. So just remember that it will be having a single copper layer on the substrate. So what is substrate? Substrate is a base material which is made up of fiberglass. That can technically it can be called as FR4. The substrate gives the rigidity to these PCBs. So the board thickness of the substrate is around 0.8 mm to 2.6 mm. Generally, it is a 1.6 mm. So there are some applications and there are some key features like it is a cost effective. Single layer PCB is a cost effective. The cost is less because the design is not that complex here. And you can place the components only on the top layer. You can't place on the bottom layer because it has no copper layer there. So connecting of the components is not possible here at the bottom layer. So the placement of the components is possible only on the top layer. There are some applications like calculators, power supply units like your um, adapters and all. In all these cases, single layer PCBs are used. And one typical example of the single layer PCB is a timer circuit that we are going to design today. Secondly, we have a double-sided PCB. In case of double-sided PCB, the substrate is common here. On the above and below of the substrate, we will be having a copper layer. And again, we have a solder mask and silkscreen here on the top and bottom. So in case of double-sided PCBs, you can place the components on both the sides. Like you can place the components on the top and you can place the components on the bottom side. And if you want to connect the components from bottom to top, there will be we will be using a vias. You can see here there are hole-like structures. Not these. These are the holes made for placement of the components. The holes which are lesser in size than these holes, you can see here, these holes are the wires which connects both bottom and top layer um, bottom and top layer components. And we have a multi-layer PCB. In case of multi-layer PCB, you will find more than 3 layers of coppers buried into this substrate. And again, all these uh, layers are connected through wires. So the application of these multi-layer PCBs are in GPS, industrial controls, and satellites, X-ray equipments, and heart monitors. All the medical equipments will be having these multi-layer PCBs, and whatever smartphones you are using, all smartphones have this multi-layer PCBs. So in case of multi-layer PCBs, you will be having SMD components like SMD stands for surface mount device. So we will see what are SMD and the through-hole components. So I have already told there are many steps involved in PCB designing. Firstly, we have parts research and selection. So first step is finding what all components you are going to use for your circuit and all. So that is the part research and selection. Proper selection of the components has to be done. For that, you can refer the data sheets which contains all the information of that component. And secondly, we have a schematic capture and simulation where you will be connecting all the components in a software. Like it will be having symbols. So you will be going to connect that components in that schematic only. And we have board layout. Board layout is nothing but converting this schematic into layout. In that case, you will be connecting all the components using a copper wire. So that is the layout part. Lastly, we have a fabrication. Though this is not done by ours, it is done by industries. And there are many tools to design this PCB. And there are like EasyDA, Proteus, Eagle, OrCAD, KiCad, and Altium. So the best and easiest way is the EasyDA. It provides many facilities like you can design symbol, footprint, and you can design schematic and layout, as well as it provides a 3D diagram where you can realize that how your final product looks. So hence we are using this tool for your design purpose.
Ma'am,
Yeah,
are these features not included in the remaining tools?
your voice is breaking.
Am I audible?
Yeah. Tell me.
Ma'am, I am asking that the features present in EasyD tool are present in the other tools remaining, or
No.
means how it is separate from how it is different, or what is the specialty in EasyD tool?
Yeah, all the features are present in other tools as well, but EasyEDA has free base. Like you can access this EasyEDA tool freely. It is not a premier version, but for your Eagle and other software, it is a premium version. So you need to buy it. And EasyEDA provides all the um, basic, like all the basic information like to design the PCB designing, whatever basics you need to learn, all are present in this video tool. And so we are going for this, and it also provides like basic information.
Ma'am, can we save it in that?
Yeah, you can say, but you can't save in your like even in your computer memory. The all the projects you have done by you will be saved in that easy data. So if you
Ma'am,
want to access them, you have to download the PDF versions of that book, like whatever design you have done.
Okay. And ma'am,
ma'am,
I didn't get that what is substrate and why it is needed in PCB.
Okay, let us go to that slide again. This is the substrate. You can see the green color rectangular here. This is the substrate. So substrate is nothing but like material which is made up of fiberglass. So you if you have seen any PCBs, you will be finding a gray color material in that. Yeah, if it is a green color PCB, above and below there will be a green color that is a solder mask. In between that two layers, you will be finding a gray color material that is nothing but this substrate. So um, it gives the thickness to that PCB.
Okay, but why it is needed?
So it is the basic component uh, to connect above and below there should be a insulating wire, right? This act like a insulating wire, like insulating material. It won't conduct, like it won't conduct any electricity. So to differentiate between two copper layers, it acts like an insulator.
Okay.
So for that purpose we will be using this substrate. The thickness will be around 1.6 millimeters. It avoids the shortening of the components.
Okay.
So the proper connections are done. Okay, now it is clear.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
ma'am, if we learn only the EasyD tool, then can we work on the other tools?
Yeah, like it is the basic tool. You can work on other tools, but you need to just again learn what are the features of that tools. All the schematic and the layout will be the same. Like you need to just select the symbols and connect the wires, but the features will be different.
Okay.
Yeah, you can try with any components. For this tutorials, we will be using this easily.
Ma'am,
This
do we do multi-layer circuit?
can you find? Hello.
So, hello.
Yeah, what you told?
I'm asking. Is it included the multi-layer PCBs in our syllabus?
No. We are just designing a single layer PCB. So the complexity will go on increasing when you use more layers. So if you learn single layer, you can easily design the double layer and all. Just you need to try hard. The layout part is somewhat difficult because you will be having 2 layers, 3 layers and all. The connection of the components, you should aware of how you are going to connect the components. If you able to connect the components properly, and it will be very easy.
Ma'am, will you show once?
Yeah, the next part is that only. So I was telling but why we are using this EasyEDA tool. So it is most widely used by engineers. It is most powerful and free online PCB design tool. And it allows electronic engineers or students to design and share their projects. If you are designing any symbol in your EasyEDA tool, it will be available by others also. So it is a global based. Anyone can access any others like layouts, any others footprints and symbols. So it is. So you should be connected to internet to access this tool. And some of the features are mentioned here, like it is a simple installation. It has simple installation steps. You can install easily, and I will be providing the link. I guess I have provided today. Go through that link. It has a download option there. So just to download the versions, whatever is suitable for your laptop. And it has large component library. It has both e-library and global library. So you can access any components, and we have it provides also schematic capture and PCB layout, and it can you can design 64 layer PCB using this tool. So it allows you to design up to 64 layers. If you want to design more layers, just you need to go for premium version. So how to use is it is an online browser based. You can design online only. No need to download the software. So if you are going to use it frequently, you just need to download it on your laptop.
Ma'am, EasyEDA has also its premium version.
Yeah, it has also. So these are some applications, door lock systems and all. All the health monitoring systems also include these PCBs. I can say that all the electronic components will be having minimum 1 PCBs because the efficiency of PCBs are very high, hence all are using these PCBs to design their circuits. I was telling about the components, right? That is nothing but this SMT and through-hole components. SMT stands for surface mount devices, and SMT is nothing but surface mount technology. THT is nothing but through-hole technology. In through-hole technology, we will be using this through-hole components. These are the 3 through-hole components. Like for using these through-hole components, you just need to uh, drill the holes in your PCBs. So in through-hole technology, it uses holes to mount on the circuit board. So you need to drill the holes for these through-hole components. For the surface mount technology, no need to drill the holes because it will be having pads. You need to place the components on the PCB, and the soldering is done on the PCB, not below the PCB. So it is easier to solder. You can solder the through-hole components, but you can't solder the surface mount devices. because it on the copper layer only you need to solder this. So if you solder more, the pins get shorted. The pins will be shorted. So the difficulty level is somewhat high here. Hence, all the surface mount soldering is done by the industries only. But in single layer PCB, you can use all the through hole components. So in our case, we are also doing the same. We are using these through hole components only. And it takes more space because you need to drill the holes and do the soldering and all. For that purpose, the space consumed by these through hole components is somewhat high. But in case of surface mount devices, the space taken by these components is low because if you are placing the surface mount device on the PCB, you will be not drilling any holes. So you can place the component on the bottom layer as well. This is the use of using this surface mount devices. All your cell phones will be having this SMD components only. Hence, the thickness of your mobile is reducing by day. There are some key terms which you need to know before designing these PCBs. First is DRC. DRC is nothing but design rule check. The software will see whether all the design rules you have used are correct or not. Like the track width is allowable or not. There will be a minimum track width which you need to maintain. So, and it will not allow you to place the wires on the components. So if you are doing that, it will show a DRC error. And if you are drilling your hole on the pad, it will not allow. So there are many DRC rules. So you need to avoid all that DRC errors. Let us see that all in our designing case. Secondly, we have a hole here. Hole is to insert the components. As I already told that through hole components need drilling of holes to place that components. And secondly, we have pads. Pad to solder the surface mount component. So to mount matlab, to solder these surface mount components, we will be using these pads. These are the pads. It will be almost in rectangular shape. You will be placing that surface mount components on this footprint. So the soldering is done on this PCB only, not on the bottom layer. And we have traces. Traces are nothing but the copper tracks. You can see this. These are the tracks which connects two components. And we have vias. Vias are, as I already told you, that to connect a top and bottom layer components, you need this vias. It is also called an electrical hole, which connects electrically both the like multi-layer copper layers. And we have a jumper. So jumper is nothing but a short length of conductor used to close or open or bypass the part of electronic circuit. While we are designing the circuit, I will show you what is the jumper there. And we have a footprint. Footprint is a component print on PCB. So to place the component, it will be having a same symbol of that, like what is the whatever is the component size, that same size of the footprint will be present in whatever hose or whatever pins that IC will be having. Same pins or pads will be having this footprint. So I will show you how to design these footprints and all. And we have two more terms like silk screen and solder mask. So to write on the PCB, you need to select this silk screen layer. You can see all the white color written written words are in silk screen only. And whatever footprint is there, that is also shown by this silk screen. it is a white ink over the solder mask. It is also used for identification of component names. So if you want to mention the component values, like if it is capacitor, they have mentioned it as a 10 microfarad, and its name, it is a second capacitor, hence they have named it as C2. So identification of component is also done using this silk screen, and also symbols are also drawn using this silk screen, and manufacturer's name and pin numbers and part numbers. Whatever text you are going to do, that should be in silk screen. And we have a solder mask. It's the layer on PCB. It gives PCB its color. So if you are seeing the PCB as green, it is because of the color of your solder mask. You can see the green color here. It is a solder mask. So the solder mask can be in red, green, blue or black color, and it protects copper layer part of the PCB. So to protect these copper layers, we are going to use the solder mask. And everywhere except the pads and holes for soldering, this solder mask is used. Whatever tracks like these pads and holes are present, except that part, you will find everywhere this solder mask. On that solder mask only, uh, you will be placing that components. So except that space, you will be doing solder mask. So I left this for the last class. So I will continue with this. There are some tips for designing this PCB. So firstly, we have keep tracks like traces straight. Your all track should be straight, not an wavy structure. It should be in straight line. Try to avoid 90-degree turns. If you are going to use 90-degree, just avoid that 90-degree and use to 45 degrees. Trace thickness and spacing. The important characteristics to consider when selecting a trace width includes the current capacity of the trace. So you need to know what is the current carrying capacity of the track, how much current will flow through it. There is some like apps which shows you what according to the width of that track, what will be its capacity of current carrying. So you can download, or there will be some online websites where you can enter the width of that track, and it will show you the current carrying capacity of that copper width. So if in case of power supply units and all, the width should be very high because the current passing through that width track will be high. So according to that, you should take care of that copper width. The allowable spacing between tracks is 0.1 mm. This is the spacing between two successive tracks. It is minimum of 0.1 mm. So you have to maintain a 0.1 millimeters of distance between two tracks for general purpose devices, or the 0.1 mm in terms of mils is 4 mils. And for power conservation, for power conversion devices, the minimum spacing will be somewhat high here, that is 0.13 mm. So because the current carrying capacity of that copper tracks will be very high, so the spacing should be high to avoid any damages. So in wheels it is 5.1. The size and pitch of the pads that the track will be connecting to. So you should take care that the track width, whatever you are using, it should be lesser than the pad width. It can also be equal to that pad width, but not greater than that. Because if your track width is higher than this pad width, the current will flow like very speed. So the pad capacity will be less in that case. It can damage your component. So make sure that whatever width of track you are taking, it should be lesser than the width of your pad. the size and pitch of the pads, it is done. So third point is try to keep all the connections on the side, on the one side of the PCBs. So if you are placing components on the topper layer, so try to keep all the connections on the lower side, like bottom layer. All the connections should be made in the bottom layer. Take into account component package. Most electronic components come in standardized packages. A package type has well a defined set of physical dimensions that the component has to conform to. For each package, normally the pitch spacing, height, and general shape is defined. So whatever component you are using, it will be having some like all the like they will be specify what should be the height and general shape and all. So you can go through the data sheets where they will mention all these terms. Just take care of that. According to that, only you need to design your footprints. So after that, just to check your final layout, whether it has any errors and all. So these are the basic tips which you need to follow. And for placement of components, we follow two rules like place the big components first. So if you are using like microcontrollers and all, microcontroller ICs, first place that components and then connect all the small components like capacitors and resistors and place the components in separate functional groups. If it has many functionals like power supply unit and other, if you had multiple subunits, you can place the components according to that. So we will look into this in further classes. And to estimate your PCB's cost, there are many softwares like digikey.com, arrows.com, mauser.in, and sunroom.com. So you can go through these websites and you can enter the part name of the component. So it will show you the component cost. So you can, if you know the component cost and all, you can estimate the PCB cost. What will be the PCB cost of your design? Okay. Is all the points clear? Hello. Hello, guys.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, are you tired or what? Yeah, this is 6:56 now. Actually, I need to complete this 555 timer today, but already it is 7 o'clock. So let us continue with the symbol. So this is how your 555 IC looks. It has 8 pins, and it is called as 8 deep. And firstly, we will just draw the symbol here. It is rectangular. Place a rectangular and make sure that it is touching your origin. Origin is nothing but a 0, 0 point here. You can even reduce its height and okay. So we will have 4 pins on this side and 4 pins on the other side. So this is the pin here. Select that. Make sure that the whole part is opposite to this line. So you need to rotate it. For rotating, just click R on your keyboard. So I will place first pin here, and it will automatically increase the pin number. So it is second pin, and we have third pin and fourth pin here. So you can see that fifth pin is opposite to fourth pin. So we will go through that. Again, you need to rotate it because this hole is for connecting the components. So it should be at the outer side. And this is the sixth pin. And this is the seventh. And this is the eighth pin. So I can even reduce its height little bit more. Again, I will place it to origin. So now I need to change the number of this pin. Each pin number has different names. First is a ground, second is trigger. So we will name that accordingly. First is a ground pin. So to change the name, you can double click on that number, or you can just select that number, and it shows here at the right side name, number, and spice number. Just change this name to ground because first pin is a ground pin, and hit enter. You can see that number has changed here. Secondly, we have a trigger pin. So again, I am changing its name to trigger. Third is output pin. You can use shortcut names here. I am just naming it as out. Fourth is reset pin. This is the reset pin. And fifth is a control voltage. I will just name it as CONT, making first letter capital. Sixth is a threshold pin. Name it as THRES. And second is seventh is a discharge. Eighth is a VCC where you need to connect to your power supply. So to name this IC, I will be using this text. The T letter indicates the text here. So place that text and rename it as 555 timer IC. You can even change its name. So this is the symbol creation. After designing the symbol, you need to save it. For that, press Ctrl S. So name it as 555 timer. Or it is also the IC name is LE555. So I will be naming it as a LE555. There are many informations. If you want to add, you can add from where you have what is the reference you have used for designing this symbol. You can name it here. And if you want to give any description, like what all are the pin names and all, you can give here. So after that, just save it. Your symbol is saved successfully. You will get a message here. So to fit this symbol into your desktop, you can press K on your keyboard. It will automatically fit in your window. So we will be using this 555 timer IC in your design of circuit, 555 timer circuit. So this is the symbol which we will be using for schematic. For this symbol, you need to connect like footprint. So we will be designing that footprint here. Again, go to file and in new, select the footprint option. This is the footprint. Again, for that, let us go to the datasheet of this 555 timer IC. This is the datasheet provided by Techstars Instruments. Go to the IC design. Okay. This is the SMD component. The rectangular pins indicate a SMD component. These are the pads. So we are going to design a through-hole component. So let me find where it is. Yeah, this is the through-hole component. You can see the pins. Like these are the through-hole components. So according to the width and all, what are the different like what are the minimum distance between two successive pins? So we will take care of this. Firstly, we will design this rectangular here. Before that, let me place the like these holes. The minimum distance is increase its size. They have even shown the like what will be the radius of that hole and all. So the distance between two successive pins will be 2.54. So make sure that your unit is in mm. So select a pad here. This rectangular circle shows the pad. Select that and place your first pad. The distance between two successive pads is 2.4 mm. So to measure the width, like what is the distance between two pads, there is a tool called dimension here. You can select that. The shortcut is N. You can see the distance is 2.4. You can even make it. So let us measure now. Now it is exactly 2.54. This is given here 2.54. The distance between two pads should be that. So again, we will be placing other components.
Ma'am,
Yeah.
why it should be 2.5 only?
In data sheet they have given here 2.54. The distance between two pins is 2.54.
Means for different IC there would be
Yeah.
different spacing.
Yes. So for that only you just go through this data sheets. They will be providing all the informations.
Okay.
All the bracket whatever they have given that are in units, and other are the different units like mills and all. So I will be taking care of this So I am considering 2.54 here. So the distance between again second pin and third pin is same, that is 2.54. And distance between third and fourth pin is 2.54. If you are not accurate with your placement, you can again check using this dimension. It it is exactly 2.54. And the distance between the fourth and fifth is minimum is 6.22. So we will take care of that 6.22. Let us place and then check the distance. This is 7.62. So you can take a maximum as well. This is 7.11. Actually, this is the size of the rectangular box. But I need a distance between two successive pins, like a fourth and fifth. They have given here. The maximum is 7.87, minimum is 7.37. So let me check what is mine. This is 7.62 mm. So you can go through that 7.62 because it is like in between that. So above that, I will be placing my sixth and seventh pins. Again, the different distance between that pins will be 2.5 only, like 2.54. And distance between first and eighth also be same as the distance between fourth and fifth. So after placing your components, I will draw its outer layer like a footprint rectangular in using this top silk layer. So select this top silk layer and go to the rectangular shape and draw a rectangular. And to indicate the first pin, you can place a circle there. So our footprint is ready. While designing our 555 timer circuit, we will be assigning this footprint to this symbol. You can see it has 4 pins, and in our footprints also, we will be having 8 pads, 8 holes. Whatever the pin numbers you have in your symbol, the same hole should be there in your footprint. So if you want to name on this IC, you can name again by using this text. I will name it as 555 timer. You can change its height and width. It is 0.203. We'll make it as 1.5. So width has reduced. We'll again reduce its height. This is fine for me. So first again saving this footprint, press Ctrl S. It will show you whether you want to place this footprint on the origin. So if you press yes, it will automatically place your footprint at the origin. Again save it. Just name the footprint like this is NE 555 timer IC. So the footprint has saved. So to place your symbol into your schematic window, go to library and in your workspace, whatever name you have given to your IC, that is NE 555. Okay. Let me close it, whether I will find it in my global library or not. Before that, make sure that you are saving your schematic. And if you want to change your company, you can do that. And the automatic date and name will be taken by schematic only. So rename this sheet 1 as schematic. Again save it. Let me go to this and again type in. So here you will find your design that I have recently designed. So this is the one which I have designed here. Just place that IC here, and to that IC we'll be connecting the components. Like we are going to design this stable multi-vibrator. So we have two resistors and two capacitors. According to the value of your resistors and capacitors, the time period of your this clock will be changing. So let us connect this. Firstly, we can see that 8th and 4th are shorted and connected to VCC. Quickly, I will complete this schematic, and tomorrow we will go through the layout. Okay, to connect the 8th and 2nd pin, go to this drawing tool and select a wire here. So, okay, in wiring tool you will find a wire, or you can press W in your keyboard. Just to connect this 8th pin to your 2nd pin, and sorry. So again my 2nd and 6th pin are shorted here. I will short this 2nd and 6th pin. And in between 8th and 7th, I have a resistor. So to select the resistor, go to E library and press on this resistor. You need to select axial resistors, which are the true hole components. So 0.3 will be the radius of your hole. So I will select that R here. And in between 7th and 8th, I will place to rotate the component. Again, press R in your keyboard. And to connect them.
Ma'am,
Yeah, tell me.
ma'am, you told that 8 and 4 are shorted.
No, 8 and yes, 8 and 4. Yeah. I connected second line. Sorry for that. Okay. This is 2nd and 6th.
Ma'am, how to delete the connection?
You can press delete, like delete key will be there in your keyboard, right? So The 8th and 4th pin are connected here. If you are not aware of that, you can select this wire and there is option called delete. You can delete that. So in between 8th and 7th, we have a resistor. Make sure that you are not shorting the wires. So again, one more resistor is there in between 7th and 2nd pin. This is my 7th pin. I will connect it to a 2nd pin. And there are two capacitors. One is in between 5th and ground. So first pin is your ground. Let us select a capacitor here. These are the ceramic capacitor. Like ceramic capacitors will be having a very low values in terms of micro, nano or femtofarads. And if you are using higher capacitance values, you can go to this electrolytic capacitors. ELE indicates electrolytic and TH indicates a through hole component. SMD indicates a surface mount device. So you need to select this SMD here. So the first capacitor is in between 6th and ground. So let me connect that here.
Ma'am,
Yeah.
why you have chosen the whole capacitor only?
For a single layer PCB designing, we will be using these through hole components only.
Okay.
So we are not going through this SMD components as of now. So
Ma'am,
all the components. Yeah.
7 and 2 is not connected.
7 and 2, right? In between 7 and 2, I have a resistor, right? So you can short this 6th and 2nd, or you can directly connect that resistor there. You can see the 2nd and sorry, 2nd and 6th pin are connected. So in between that only I need to connect. I guess it's correct. Let me re-verify. Selecting. Okay.
I think 6 will be connected to the register and 2 and 7 has been shorted now.
No, 2 and 6 are shorted. So I have shorted them. 6th and the 2nd pin have a common resistor there. So one resistor is in between 8th and 7th that I have connected here. This is the resistor that is present in between 2nd and 8th. And I need to delete this wire here. This should be connected to your 7th and 2nd pin. should be connected to your second pin. So you can see this is the second pin you can connect here. So there is a capacitor which is connected to sixth pin, and it is connected to ground. First is a ground pin. There is one more capacitor. It is connected to your fifth pin. So again it should be shorted with the ground. And this is connected to ground. So just press K to fit this schematic. For that ground symbol, just go to wiring tools and select this net flag ground and place on the first whatever the wire connecting to your first pin. This is the wire, so I have connected that ground pin here. And to give the input, that is VCC, select this again VCC net flag and connect it to your 8th pin. This is my 8th pin, so I will connect it here. To give a power supply to your 555 timer, so you just select a connector. Through that connector, you can give your input. As I already told that it allows you to give up to like 15 or 12 volts, and the minimum should be 4.5. So I need to connect this first pin to this VCC. For that I need to flip this. Let me maximize. For flipping that, go here. There is option called flip horizontally. Select that. Your connector is flipped. Now connect that first pin to your like 8th pin. Yeah, this is connected to 8th pin and second pin is connected to ground. So to check whether your timer circuit is correct or not, I will be connecting a LED there. So before LED, I need a small resistor to control the current flow. So this is my resistor. This is my output pin. So connect them. And we have a LED here. The LED has like PGR, like blue, green, and red color. You can select any one of them. 3 mm indicates the radius of the hole. So I will select the green one with a 3 mm radius. You can select any one of them. According to that, the size of this LED changes. And make sure that cathode of this should be connected to ground and anode should be connected to your resistor. So we can move this like it. By dragging that, you can move these components. So I will connect this to ground here. So to get output, you can connect one more component, like one more connector there. I will select one more component. I will place it here. It should be connected to 3rd pin. This is my 3rd pin. And 2nd pin again connected to your ground. So this is the 3
This connector.
Sorry.
What is the function of this connector?
Yeah, to get the input and output, like you will be connecting your power supply to this 555 timer, right? So you can't give directly to this 8th pin. So you need a connector here. You will see, I will show you how that connector looks. I guess you may have used that before. This is a 2-pin connector. You can change its name as well. It is an input connector. So I will rename it as input and it is the output one. So to name this circuit, again select this text and rename it as 555 timer circuit. So if you want to increase its height, you can increase it and just reset this layout like it's and decrease its width and height. So I need little more height. Make it as 520 here. Okay, 530. And this is the final look of your schematic. So you can make a more like systematic one. So if you want to see its 3D model, so firstly you need to design its layout, then you can see its 3D model. So I will show the 3D model tomorrow, and also I will show how to connect this 555 timer symbol with its footprint. So if you have any doubts regarding this, you can ask now.
Ma'am, how to check the LED is
In case of PCB designing tool, you can't check that. But in case of Proteus, you can again design the same circuit, and you have to give VDC like a 5-volt input to that, and you can find the delay through this LED.
Yes, here how to check the circuit is correct or not?
Firstly, you need to design this circuit in other softwares. As I told you that you can design it using Proteus. So just name these registers and all. So
Proteus has
according
free
to this,
version, ma'am.
pardon?
Proteus has free version.
Yeah, you can download it. Like it has two modes, I guess, professional mode and like guest mode. You can download one which is not professional. I guess it will not allow to save that circuit, but you can check whether the circuit is working or not.
Okay, ma'am, can you give me the link in the group?
Okay, I will check. I have already downloaded. I will check and provide you.
Okay, ma'am, thank you.
Let me show how it looks if I have on my desktop. Mm, this is the Proteus 8 professional version, which I have downloaded. When you go to this open circuit or new circuit, I will just select one and show you how the circuit looks here. So if this, okay, select the component. I have made many circuits here. Just I am opening one to show the demo. It takes some time to open. Again, this Proteus provides you the layout design also. You can design PCB using this Proteus as well, but the layout part is somewhat difficult. This is how you need to connect the components as the same way you have connected here. So except these like connectors, you need to give a input source there. So For example, so this is the bulb to show the output. In your case, we have LED. So according to your circuit, you just need to connect the components, and to select the components again it has like P is for part name and all. Just name the component name here and you can select the components, and whatever components you have used they will be available here. You can reuse them. And again to connect ground you have here ground power and all.
Ma'am, for ground, anyone we can take?
No, they haven't mentioned here ground, like that one only you need to take.
Okay, okay.
Is it clear? Uh, Before coming to next class, I tried to design this 555 timer schematic. So if you have any difficulties, you can ask in the group.
Ma'am, please give us the link of Proteus.
Yeah, I've been provided.
Okay, ma'am, thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, guys. If you don't have any doubts, you can leave the meeting.